Okay, class 5. So today we are starting with another chapter of Essential English, which is unit number 11, Dahl Roald. Okay. Let me tell you about Dahl Roald. Dahl Roald was basically an English novelist, was an English writer who wrote a lot of novels, a lot of books for children. He also wrote books for adults, but he was more famous for the novels which he has written for kids. All right. He was born in 1916 in Llandaff, Wales. He was an outstanding popular author of books for children. Okay, and he died in 1919, and when he died, his age was 74. What was his age? His age was 74. Okay. Now, let me tell you about the early life of Dahl. Dahl Roald's early life was almost as adventurous as any of his novels. He was, what do you mean by adventurous? Adventurous means adventureful. He did not always enjoy boarding school, finding the teacher there too strict. So it was a relief to leave in order to go out to Africa as a young businessman working for Shell Oil. Okay, his early life, when he was young, his early life was as adventurous as any of his novels. He did not at a very young age he was sent to the boarding school, and because at the boarding school there were strict teachers, so he did not really enjoy his life in boarding school. So he got a chance to leave the boarding school in order to go to Africa as a young businessman working for Shell Oil. He went to Africa and he worked like businessman and where did he work? He worked in a Shell Oil company. All right. After some extraordinary adventures, some involving wild animals, Dahl volunteered for the Royal Air Force when the Britain declared war on Germany in 1939. Okay, what happened? Britain attacked Germany. Britain declared a war on Germany in 1939, and Dahl volunteered in Royal Air Force during that war. Okay, what is the meaning of volunteered? Volunteered means you do not get pay for a job, but you do it for your own happiness. ठीक है, मतलब आप अपने शौक से एक जो जॉब करते हो ना, but you do not get pay for that job, तो उसको आप कहते हो volunteer करना. ठीक है, किसी चीज़ में. Okay, after flying in East Africa, he crashed his plane in flames in the middle of the Western Desert. Despite dreadful injuries, Dahl was soon flying again in Greece and Syria before transferring to the USA in 1943. Okay, after flying to East Africa, when he was flying to East Africa, his plane crashed, and उसका प्लेन कहाँ पे क्रैश हुआ था? इन द मिडल ऑफ द वेस्टर्न डेजर्ट. हिज प्लेन क्रैश्ड एंड ही गॉट रियली स्वेयर इंजरीज. बट डिस्पाइट ऑफ द ड्रेडफुल इंजरीज, बेशक उसको मतलब बहुत जैसे स्वेयर किस्म की इंजरीज आई थी, उसके बावजूद दाल was soon flying again in Greece and Syria. He was again flying to Greece and Syria before transferring to the USA in 1943. All right. Okay, coming to another paragraph. After World War II, he started writing stories, at first for adults and later for children. After the World War II, when the World War II was over, he started writing the stories for adults. But as I told you before, he was a lot famous for the novels, for the books he has written for children. He wrote the novels for stories for adults and later for children. His third book was children. His third book for children, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Okay, this is an excellent book. I would like कि अगर आप सब जो है read करें, you guys should read out this book, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. All right. And this book he wrote for this book, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He wrote this book for children, and it was the one of the best selling children's book of all the times. ये उस वक्त जो जब इसने लिखी थी, या जब when this book got published, ये बहुत like best selling novels में से one of the best selling novels इसकी जो है ये book थी. ठीक है. Other favorites include the BFG, Revolting Rhymes, and the Witches. He often used magic in his stories, but in a bold and new way. Okay, which were the three books he wrote? The BFG, Revolting Rhymes, and The Witches, and including Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. These are the four books they have mentioned in this book. Okay. Sometimes the whole story may seem cruel, at other times even rather rude. But many would say he got closer to what children are interested in than do other more restrained author writing for the young. Okay, sometimes Dahl used to know children very nicely, very closely, and emotionally he used to connect with the children, so he used to write novels for the children. Okay, but sometimes when he used to write novel stories for the adults, his novel used to be rude and cruel. But many would say he got closer to what children are interested. But he used to write novels in which children were more interested. Some adults do not like everything he wrote. Basically, Dahl used to write books or novels for young generation. All right. Some adults do not like everything he wrote, but young readers themselves seem to. During the 1980s, he was the most popular children's author in the world. Okay, as Dahl used to write novels, books for children, for the younger generation, so when adults used to read his books, they don't seem to like that much of his material. Alright, and in 1980s he was the most popular children's author in the world. He was already a famous writer amongst the children, but in 1980s he was the most popular children author in the world. मतलब उसको पूरी दुनिया में भी children author, best children author के लिए पहचाना जाता था. Alright, so this was it. This was the explanation of this chapter. I hope you guys have understood. If you have any questions, if you any point you guys did not understand, please do ask me. Okay, coming to the comprehension. So if these statements are true, false, or not possible to say. Okay, number one. What is number one? Roald Dahl was happy at school. Was he happy at school? No, he was not happy at school, so it is false. He joined the Royal Air Force in 1939. Yes, it is true. Roald Dahl drove a tank in the war. No, it is not true. He only wrote stories for children. No, it is not true. He also wrote some books for adults as well. In the 1980s, Roald Dahl was the most popular children's author. Yes, it is true. Roald Dahl was born in Scotland and died in 1991. No, it is not true. This is false. Okay, so this was it for today, and what you guys have to do, you guys have to write these true and false in your copy. And I am going to send you the question answer of this chapter in the next video. Okay, good luck.